Hundreds of new video games are released every year, and they can't all be winners. Some games just aren't worth your time. However, because of unrealistic expectations, biased reviews, or simply uninformed word of mouth, some games get classified as bad by the general gaming community when really they're fantastic examples of what a video game can and should be. Here's a list of some great games that get undeserved hate. Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception. To start this list off, we've got one of the absolute best games on the PlayStation 3. While this game is one of the few on the list to be received very well by critics, there does seem to be a certain stigma within the gaming community regarding the third entry in Nathan Drake's adventurous saga. Since Uncharted 2: Among Thieves is almost unanimously considered the best in the series, and in general one of the greatest adventure games of all time, the expectations for number 3 were extremely high. So when it couldn't quite reach the level of perfection that its predecessor had, it seemed as if many gamers interpreted that to mean the game was bad. Which is truly unfortunate because a game that is almost perfect in any other scenario would be considered a must-play, but this game was swept under the rug by many simply because it wasn't as good as the entry that came before it. Uncharted 3 has everything you could ask for in a great adventure game. Thrilling set pieces, an exciting campaign, an epic soundtrack, and arguably the best graphics on PS3. Resident Evil 6. Sure, the story in Resident Evil 6 is overly convoluted, and there were more quick-time events than there should have been, but the gameplay was an absolute blast, and the atmosphere is truly suspenseful. The introduction of a more complex close-quarters combat system to the Resident Evil formula was a game-changer, as up to this point, all you could do when an enemy got in your face was slice them with a glorified butter knife. In Resident Evil 6, you could roundhouse kick, pile drive, and do all sorts of martial arts moves that I probably wouldn't even be able to pronounce. As an added note, couch co-op in this game is a blast, and finding a friend to play through the 3 main campaigns with is the optimal way to experience the interweaving stories. Lastly, while the dialogue in the game is undeniably bad, it's important to note that the main cast does an incredible job with the lines they're given, and all of the voice actors give genuinely great performances.
If you walk away now, then this was all for nothing!
DMC: Devil May Cry. DMC was one of the best action games of the last console generation, and the current gen remaster is even better. Yet it gets treated as one of the worst in the Devil May Cry series, with some gamers considering it to be even worse than the horrendous Devil May Cry 2. DMC has exhilarating combat, a surprisingly well-written story, and some of the best boss fights ever put in a hack-and-slash game. The biggest complaints regarding this game actually have to do with the character changes to main protagonist Dante, and these complaints are highly subjective at best and completely stupid at worst.
They made Dante into a whiny little bitch in this game.
Wrong! Dante has been a whiny little bitch since the very first game. If anything, they gave him a unique personality that was far more interesting to watch than the cookie-cutter anime protagonist that he had been up to this point. Sure, he's an unlikable person at times, but that's because he's a flawed character. Flawed characters make for intriguing storytelling.
He has black hair now instead of white hair! Blasphemy!
First of all, stop. Second of all, if you played the game, you would know that
Spoilers.
he does get his white hair. At the end, it's a plot point. Simply put, DMC is an amazing game that got ignored by many gamers, seemingly because of purists who weren't willing to accept some changes in their beloved franchise, and it really is a shame. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been GamerBust's Great Games That Get Undeserved Hate. If you agree or disagree with any of the entries on this list, go ahead and leave a comment and let us know. And as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more gaming content uploaded daily here at Game or Bust.